Hello and welcome. This lesson will be covering the creation of successful web content for our web pages. Successful web content is content that supports our marketing efforts, stands out as a place for people to meet us for the first time, and it supports our efforts on Google and Bing by offering great search engine optimization. So let's get started. In this lesson, we have a few objectives. You guys, at the end of the lesson, will be able to distinguish between successful and struggling web pages, construct well-written pages that efficiently contribute to our marketing efforts. You will be able to avoid common mistakes in page construction, and you will be able to critique a page's quality before you post it. So, where does content fit into our strategy? Well, it's just one spoke on the wheel of many. I won't get too deep into this, but content is very important for our SEO. SEO is how well a search engine picks up your site. And content, it plays a big part into that. If you have the content that people are searching for, search engines will help them find you. But it has to be tailored the right way. So, moving on, your next big question is, how in the world do I know what good content for my web pages is versus bad? Well, I can start by giving you a few tips. So, some characteristics of a successful web page include a few things. First off, it's got to be tagged properly. Proper tags include things such as alt tags for accessibility, title tags for images, campaign tracking URLs so that it feeds properly into our analytics software. All these tags are important in Google recognizing what's on the page, as well as improving accessibility for the users. So it is vital that we include all of our tags. It also must have descriptive content because each word you type is picked up on Google and raises our search priority. This descriptive content will also help the users figure out what our content's about, and it'll better convey our message in a way that is purely through words. Mentioning words, it also has to be full of keywords. The keywords are the words that we have selected as a team that we are planning to use to drive users to our site. For example, our site is heavily oriented in biology, so a good keyword for some of our pages that want to attract biology students may include like biology master's degree or things of that nature so that people can find us easily. We also want to effectively use pictures to help break up the content. In web design, you don't want to use too many pictures, but you want to use enough to pair with your content to make it appealing to the eye of the consumer. You also want it to align with the audience of interest. If we develop targeted content, our content should be on task with what we want to develop. Say we develop an article that is targeted towards teachers, and we want to market our MAT program. We don't necessarily want to use somebody that's totally out of that field. We may want to use a profile of a successful student from the program and align it with their interests so that they can see themselves in their shoes. We also want to launch in accordance with a plan. So we would rather avoid, and this goes in general, posting content without a purpose. Content without a purpose is doomed to fail because we are kind of casting a wide net. These targets help us hit our benchmarks and reach the folks who we know want to see our content. So always keep that in mind. Now here I have an example of a well-structured page. This is our Project Dragonfly homepage. As you can see, our page includes multiple keywords, including our advanced inquiry program, master's degree, as well as our name of the program, Project Dragonfly. These are all going to be great. It includes pictures that are all tagged properly, and it's laid out quite nicely. Moving on to the struggling page characteristics, these include a lack of tags, sloppy content, it's missing keywords, its structure is either too plain to make it boring, or it's overcomplicated so that it confuses the user. And they can often seem random, and they're off-brand with our other pages. You don't want a page sticking out like a sore thumb. So this first plain example I have is a bad example. Is Suzanne Collins, the author of the Hunger Games website. As you can see here, there's not much descriptive content. If you didn't know who she was or the book she was written, it would turn out that you'd be pretty confused by what was going on here. The pictures kind of dominate the main content area, and the welcome is not very descriptive, and it doesn't really tell you a lot about the site. So, moving on the other end of the spectrum, this is mass overload of stuff on the website. I guarantee all of this is not tagged properly. Even though it has a lot of items on it, none of it's descriptive, and it's just overwhelming. It's a stark contrast from what we had on our website. So, to wrap things up, the key takeaways are to always tag your pages properly using alt tags and tracking URLs. Describe your content well so that folks can find it. Include vital terminology that aligns with brands' marketing campaigns so that you're always on task. Use images that align with the content of the pages to help associate the user and convey our messages. And plan pages with the recruitment team to ensure brand relevancy and accuracy. That's all I have for today. Thank you everyone so much. Have a wonderful evening.